The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12 covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Welcome to Tuesday, guys. How are you? Welcome in to an episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He is Dave Sharapan, the book. I'm Matt Perrault, the Bostonian. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book, Twitter X as well. Replayed on Sports Grid TV and Sirius XM, channel 159. We have a large show. Jim Costa's coming on at the top. We're going to go to the D, go to Detroit. They're already partying after last night, just carrying it over into the day game today. Dave, a lot of baseball today. How are you on this Tuesday?
Good, busy, fired up, running around. It's like sportsbooks just realized that the baseball playoffs start today.
Seriously.
And like nobody had stuff up, and it was like, wait, what are we doing? We're running around, getting stuff in line to try to, everybody's texting me this morning. Hey, what do you got for the exacta? I'm like, they don't have it up yet. They're just putting it up now. We're just trying to work some numbers, trying to do some things. But you went and got Jim from the ticket in Detroit, which we got to talk about right away because things are happening in Detroit. I mean, last night, pretty good. Start off today when heroes are made. Oh, I love October. My God, October 1st. Happy October 1st.
Right. We've got two brigade members coming on the show today. One in Detroit and one in Kansas City. So we'll check in with you guys in the audience about how you're feeling about your baseball teams. Two cities that are not, all of the Royals have been in there recently. For Detroit, it's been a while for them to have playoff baseball. It's School Bowl day on top of everything else. And the Lions just kicked the living dog crap out of the Seahawks last night. And Jared Goff has yet to throw an incompletion for two games, basically. 18 for 18. First time in NFL history anyone goes 18 for 18, including it's the first time since 1933 that a team went 100% completions because Amon St. Brown threw one to Jared Goff. he was 1 for 1.
What a dime. What a dime that was.
He was 1 for 1.
He was going the opposite way, and he lofted that ball up with touch, and Goff was running. I mean, I guess that's what you call running if you're a quarterback like that. And that linebacker was like, oh, wait, he's going out. And the linebacker was chasing with that ball dropped in there, just like dropping it in the basket. Touchdown.
19.
That one was even got the kids off the couch. I mean, the little one went like, is that a legal play? I'm like, you're damn right it is. That was awesome.
19 for 19 and a 42-29 butt kicking that the Lions handed down on Monday Night Football. Let's get to a guy who's been up very early in the morning talking about all of these things and very excited. Into Detroit we go. Jim Costa from the morning show in the ticket joining us here on BVB. Jim, Matt, and Dave, thanks for coming on. Set the stage. How fired up are you guys in Detroit?
This is a long time coming, man. We are having such a great time right now because you guys mentioned it. It's not just our football team, which, hey, Super Bowl push. It's our baseball team. We never thought we'd be here, and we have playoff October baseball today.
I can't wait. It's so exciting, and I'm a Pittsburgh guy originally, so it's been a long time. 11 years to the day is when, and it's going to be my favorite thing about today, but my favorite thing about last night, before we get to the baseball, Jim, the Lions were this close last year to come into Vegas for the Super Bowl, and that's all I wanted. Being here as long as I have, this place, getting the Super Bowl with the Lions would have been awesome, but they were close.
Yeah.
The expectations this year, after last night, going into this year, is it Super Bowl or bust, Jim, or what?
Oh, absolutely. Even Dan Campbell has said it. He goes, I don't really know what bust is. We're here for the Super Bowl. We want the whole enchilada, and they don't run from it. The general manager, Brad Holmes, has done a great job building this thing. He says it. Yeah, our expectation, flat out, not afraid to say it, Super Bowl.
What's the thing that's going to stand in the way because I think if you ask a guy on the street, you walk by and say, what's the problem with the Lions? I think they would say Jared Goff. But Jared Goff, from a betting perspective, has been one of the most profitable quarterbacks in the last 5 years. He's been an absolute cash cow for gamblers when it comes to betting against the number. It's great for our business, but can he get your team to New Orleans?
I mean, you touched on it. He nearly did a season ago. They had a 17-point lead on the road in San Francisco, and I don't think you can blame Jared Goff for that game. There's a lot of talk about Campbell and fourth downs, but it's a drop on fourth down. It's a fumble by Jahmyr Gibbs. It's a third quarter where the defense couldn't chase down Brock Purdy. It wasn't for Jared Goff's weaknesses or limitations that kept this team from playing in a Super Bowl a year ago. They've tailored the offense for him, and you saw it yesterday, right? He's surgical. He gets the ball to all these different playmakers. He's a great play-action passer. They're a good running football team. They've very much set him up for success.
You probably have heard it. There's a lot of noise about it. The NFC North is a really good division. But the team that is playing beyond expectations right now is the Minnesota Vikings. Nobody saw it coming. Their season wins was low. We got a lot of people to watch this show in the Minnesota area and Minnesota fans. Jim, are you guys taking the Minnesota Vikings seriously yet?
Kind of being forced to. You know, I do a podcast with our afternoon guy, Mike Valeni, Cash the Ticket, and we didn't think very highly of their season win total either. So, so we're staring at the way a lot of people are going, how did they, but as much as it'd be easy to dismiss it because it's Sam Darnold, I think here in Detroit, we have to look at what happened with Jared Goff and reserve the right to, hey, if you could support a good quarterback, you can make him a great quarterback. And that's what they've done in Minnesota.
The defense and the defensive line, obviously here in Vegas, when we hosted the draft, you guys drafted Aiden Hutchinson incredibly high, number 2 overall, I believe, right? Yeah. Coming out of Michigan. What's the number one worry with the defense? Is it the pass rush? Is it the secondary? What's the concern with the defense?
Yeah, so last year they gave up the most air yards in football, and some of that is they didn't have a consistent pass rush. Late in the season last year, they started to dial up the blitzes. People may remember that primetime game against the Denver Broncos. Ife Melifonwu was a designed blitzer, and it was their way of kind of creating pressure. They went out and pursued Marcus Davenport. He's now done for the season on the edge. I anticipate they're going to blitz again this season. They did overhaul the secondary, though. Carlton Davis, first-round pick, they used on Terrion Arnold, second-round pick, Ennis Rakestraw. I think the thought is they want to play some sticky man coverage. They want to blitz, and they want to trust those guys on an island late in the season.
Sticky man coverage. I'm going to use that. But I like that, Jim. That was good.
Sometimes you get called for penalties, though. We saw that last night.
All right. I got to ask because I go back to the Billy Sims days. I love the Honolulu Blue, and I love the Lions and all this other stuff. What's the feeling about those all black unis last night in the Honolulu Blue? Like, give me the boots on the ground feeling, because the Lions uniform, arguably one of the best in football, all of it. And they changed it all up. How did you guys feel about that?
Dave, it's so funny. The Lions last wore black in the Matt Millen era.
Wow.
So for those that aren't privy, that was an 0-16 football team.
I know.
Nation. And Lions fans are very much a battered fan base, right? So a lot of this initially when Campbell showed up is, are they going to be any different? But they've been so different that people have embraced these black uniforms. They love these black uniforms. They're wearing around sports bars into the stadium last night. Dan Campbell himself wanted these black jerseys, and I think that's made the fan base buy in too.
Wow. All right. We're 20 minutes from first pitch, so we got to get to baseball here because this is obviously a gigantic moment in the history of the Tigers. They punted at the trade deadline. Nobody thought that they were going to do anything, and yet they had the best pitcher in the American League, who will be on the mound here today up against everyone hates the Astros. No one likes the Astros. Okay. I mean, you look around and you're like, how does anyone really like the Astros? I'm a Red Sox fan. I can't stand them, but they're very good. They're very talented. And Framber's going today for them at home. What do you make of the series? 8 for 8 in the wild card 3-game set. The team that wins game 1 has won the series in all 8 times. Can you guys win today?
I mean, that's the thought when you send the best pitcher on planet Earth to the mound. I don't know how long he's going to pitch today, right? Is it 6? Is it 7? Tigers bullpen. Here's the other thing people don't realize. Tigers bullpen, largely a bunch of unknown guys. They've played the matchup game for about 6-7 weeks here, and they've played playoff baseball with 3 guys or 3 outs at a time, 4 outs at a time. They're ready to get this thing going. If Skubal doesn't go deep into the ball game, they're comfortable saying we'll mix and match. It's what they've been doing. So I think AJ Hinch said it's Skubal and then chaos. So they're ready to do it.
I like that. We'll put that on a T-shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
In chaos. That's okay. Because Hinch did an unbelievable job watching from a distance all summer. And again, the 313 is a big part of our show. We got a lot of guys. We got one coming on later and people to watch the show and getting caught up in it. It was a fun ride. All right. The summer turned into a really romantic summer. Benedetti's calls. I'm watching the games myself, loving it. I went and got my first ever hat. I'm not sure yet. The big D or the little D. I got both. I did. It's all about the D.
Pause.
But listen, if they lose today, is all hope lost? Like, I don't think it is. Like, I know the first game stat, and I know Skubal is the best pitcher on planet Earth, or at least in the American League. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Is it, Jim, if they lose today?
I know the numbers, the same numbers you guys have been hitting, and your chances go down dramatically. But this is a team that shouldn't be here to begin with.
Correct.
Like they shouldn't win this series. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't this. They shouldn't that. Their odds to make the playoffs in August were 0.2%. I didn't stutter. I didn't move the decimal on you guys. 0.2%. It's 100%. They're here. I think if they were to lose game 1, of course, everybody would say, damn, you don't really have much of a chance. But this is a unique situation. This team didn't have much of a chance anyway, so I don't know that they really sulk at that point.
Look, this is a fun 313 love fest. Let's pour some cold water on it just here for a second. Can you at least admit the fact that the Tigers wouldn't be here if they didn't go 9-1 against the White Sox?
Well, I think everybody in the division played the White Sox.
Thank you.
And I missed something where the Tigers disproportionately played the White Sox. Everybody played the White Sox.
Yes, you played them 10 times. You played them
right,
more than anybody else.
So
you played them 10 times.
Did the Twins not play the White Sox?
Correct. But I'm not putting there are other teams in the American League besides the teams in your division that could have been wild card teams that you guys won over and got over on them, namely my team and other teams, the Mariners and others that could have made it if they had a chance to play up against the White Sox 10 times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, this is also a benefit of the extra wild card, which is only, a few years in the making. Listen, I'm not going to apologize for it, though. Rules are the rules. Schedule's a schedule. You guys had a big cushion, so I don't really feel sorry for you.
Rules are the rules. That's right. And somehow, with the new wild card or the extra wild card, the American League Central has 3 teams in the playoffs. And if you had said that before the season, everybody would have looked at you and said, hey, Jim, maybe time to take some time off because that's not going to happen. And
there's your bracket.
There's the postseason picture right there. All right, Cleveland's already in the second round by benefit of a bye. How many teams in the American League Central are going to be in the second round, Jim? Right now, what do you think? There's 1 already. Is it just 1? Is it 2? Or is it 3?
Well, the way the Royals have played, I don't think they're beating Baltimore. So let's start there.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
And listen, you can call me a homer. The hottest team in baseball, not for a couple days, not for a couple weeks, for a couple months, is the Detroit Tigers. You're getting 2 teams into the second round.
Yes. Tigers over the Astros. I think it's really a great point that you brought up. We talked about it a lot during the summer, but you basically did this with 2 pitchers.
Yeah,
and it was like we're gonna go and find just whatever we can do after the 6th inning. And the bullpen was the story. You guys gave up the least number of runs from July 22nd to the end of the year. You guys gave up the least number of runs. And you scored a ton of runs on top of that. Where did the offense come from? Because basically you guys punted on the year. Like I said at the trade deadline, this was see you next year. We're going to keep Skubal, but we're going to rebuild everything else. And all of a sudden you guys are in the playoffs.
I mean, you're not exaggerating. I mean, like the disbelief that we have in this, like August 8th was the Lions' first preseason game. And at that point, we had just kind of collectively written off our baseball team. Like, all right, we'll keep an eye on them. They sold at the deadline. They have a 2-man rotation. It would have been, Skubal and Olsen, or Skubal and Montero. Montero, by the way, not even on the opening round playoff roster. They've done this with relief pitching. They've done this with we know who our guys are and you don't know. We're going to keep our cards tight to the vest. And it really should have only been able to work for a couple days or a couple weeks, right? Before you tax that rotation, you tax that bullpen. But they're calling up guys from AAA with ERAs over 5, and they're pitching their ass off in Detroit at the major league level. Chris Fetter, the pitching coach in Detroit, deserves a lot of credit. AJ Hinch, a lot of credit. They've been playing playoff baseball since about August 10th.
And there's a lot to be said for that. And we've seen crazy runs, and I hope that the run in Detroit starts today. Any buyer's remorse on the Flaherty move? Like, is there people talking about, because we've heard it. We've talked about it on here. We've had guests on it. Boy, if they had Flaherty, they would be, what would they be? They're in the playoffs now. Like, I don't know how much you could say they would be that much better. Because he went on and he's going to be a big part of the Dodgers' success. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm good with it if I'm the Tigers.
Listen, the decision, you had to trade at the deadline. You had to sell at the deadline. You were so far back. I don't think you can really fault them for trading him away. And actually, the player they got back, Trey Sweeney, has been a fixture at shortstop. So that gave him the opportunity to move on from Javi Baez before Javi got hurt. Javi was a black hole in the lineup. Sweeney's been solid in the field, left-handed bat. And he made a great play in Baltimore the final week of the season, final 7-10 days of the season, where he made a play colliding with the left fielder, Riley Green, to snag a ball in Baltimore. He has been critical for this. I don't want to overhype him, but he's a player that wasn't on the team prior to the trade deadline, and now he's a guy who's playing today in the wild card.
The total for this game is 6. 6.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it's 6, but I know it's a playoff game. I know it's Skubal. I know it's Valdez, but oh my. Is this a 2-1 baseball game? And if it is, doesn't that benefit the Tigers?
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like a low-scoring game. If Skubal does his thing, you suppress Houston. Tigers, for as scrappy as they are not a good team hitting left-handed pitching. Valdez going to keep the ball down, sinkers, curveballs. Maybe he hangs one and you can get a hold of it, but it feels like it's going to be low-scoring.
All right, last one for me, sir. And thank you for joining us today. It's been a great visit, and hopefully we'll get to do it again as they make a little run. But I got to ask, does anybody care right now in any of that area about either the Red Wings or the Pistons at all?
I love hockey. A kid who grew up in the 90s. How do you not fall in love with Hockey Town? I'm excited for it, but I know where it lists right now on the priorities. We had a promo run on the station 9 days away from the home opener, but it's not even top of mind. And then the Pistons, they had media availability yesterday. They're coming off an awful season, and it doesn't look like they're going to be chasing the playoffs anytime soon. So, yeah, for the diehards, but no, the focus is, we're dialed into football and this surprise baseball team, and it's just back and forth between the two with kind of oblivious blinders to everything else.
Along the same lines, where does your market is so unique because it's one of the few major markets in America that college football actually has time on the radio with Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan State's going through some stuff, but Michigan's got a pretty big game coming up here this weekend. Big win over USC last weekend. Does Michigan get much play right now, or is it just like we're all baseball and NFL and we'll kind of squeeze in the Wolverines when we can?
Well, it's one of the things. I grew up in Michigan. I grew up Metro Detroit, and I've always obviously had a preference to this city, this market. And I love how unique we are in that we have 4 major teams and we have 2 Big Ten teams in college football. And it's not typically an afterthought, right? Like Lions Mondays in the fall are a thing. And then you get to Michigan pretty quickly, and you get to Michigan State when they've been really good. But yeah, we found ourselves going comment on Michigan on an offhand comment on a Tuesday, get to them by Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. We've just been inundated with so much of this baseball team to go with football that even Michigan's not getting the play they typically do. And in terms of this weekend, you guys are gambling guys. How fishy is that? You got number 10 in the AP is hitting the road. Dog. And they're an underdog to an unranked Washington team. Like, that's fishy. Yeah. That puts off alarm bells for me as a bettor.
Yeah. Look ahead line was 8.5 for Michigan in the summertime for that game. Jim, thank you for coming on. If you could on the way out, tell people about you and Valenti's podcast. If they want to listen, that's a gambling podcast folks can find. I'm assuming wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcast, Cash the Ticket is the name. You can search it. Doesn't have to be on the Odyssey app. Obviously, we're an Odyssey station, but wherever you get your podcasts. We do college picks on Thursday. Friday picks are NFL. Mondays are kind of a recap. Tuesdays are kind of shenanigans, more of a loose episode. But we're putting out 4 full episodes a week. So just search Cash the Ticket wherever you get your podcasts.
Love it.
Good stuff, Jim. Thank you. Enjoy the game today. Should be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. 10 years.
Go Tigers, baby.
That's right.
That's Jim Costa from The Ticket, the morning show, and The Ticket, and Cash the Ticket podcast with Mike Valenti joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get him on the program talking about that. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement in the D at the moment for this game here today. Mike Valenti's the best in the business. He's one of, I'll give it to you, Andrew. He's one of my faves. I've had a long running love affair with him and I, doing some fun stuff. When I was in Omaha, he used to come on my show a lot, talking Detroit stuff. So good stuff with him. Good stuff there with Jim. Thanks for coming on. All right, let's start with this. This game starts in about 10 minutes here. Scooble Valdez, who are you on?
I can't wait to watch this. We're going to try to do the show and watch it in game.
I'm going to do the show. You're going to watch baseball. That's how this is going to go.
This is, I mean, October gets weird around here. I mean, Brooksy said this show is weird. October's weird, especially for me. I love it. This is one of my favorite things. The baseball playoffs, right up there with the hockey playoffs. But man, when you get new blood and you get the Tigers and you get the Royals and you get, I mean, looking at the numbers, there ain't nobody that thinks that the American League Central is going to do much of anything. Those prices are absurd.
I'm one of them.
I know. I mean, I get it, but and then you go back to the National League and later with the Brewers today and the Mets. I mean, the Brewers might as well not even show up. They are the home team, and their odds are they're the same as the Mets. Like, was going over it again this morning. I've been up early and trying to chase these numbers and things. I want the Tigers to win today. That would be awesome if the Tigers
8-8. 8-8.
That would be awesome for a lot of positions and a lot of people.
I think it's going to be a quick stay. Royals,
I think they're done.
Royals, Tigers. Thanks for coming.
Really?
It's just look at baseball's a funny world. It's a funny game, right? This is not how baseball normally is played. We don't have 3-game sprints. This is not normal. This is one series.
Every day, every series for 6 months is 3-game sprints.
Yeah, not for your life. It's a marathon.
Well, I mean, the games
this is for your life.
A weekday series in May is not quite the intensity that this is. Yes.
Yeah, it's
but for the players. It is like it's another series.
So, LL, the reason why they're betting the over is because a couple of weeks ago, the Astros hit the living crap out of the ball against Scooble. They lit them up. So the theory is, if you like the Astros, you like the over. Favored in the over today because you're going to see offense for Houston in a rocking atmosphere in Houston. And Valdez, as you heard Jim Costa say, left-handed pitching is not the friend of this Tigers lineup. So you have one of the best lefties in baseball on the mound here. There's just so much playoff experience. Like my worry for the Tigers is they take a breath. Like they've been going in playoff baseball forever, and now they're running into the one team they did not want to see. I don't get this idea that the Tigers tanked to play the Astros, that they wanted to play the Astros. They did not want to play the Orioles. So they set it up. So they lost their last 2 games of the regular season in order to have it go to this matchup, 6 versus 3.
You hear that all the time. There's no chance.
There's no chance. And why would you want to play in that environment against that roster that has that type of experience? No, thank you. Like, there's nothing that the Tigers, they have experienced nothing in the playoffs. There's nothing the Astros haven't experienced in the playoffs. They've gone through everything. So I don't know. Second game, Royals, Reagans, Orioles, Burns. Same price. Minus 150.
Odd, it's the same price. Odd, it's the same price, which tells me there's a lot of
favorite.
I don't want to say there's a lot of belief in the dog in that one, right? Like, I mean, you got Reagans the same price as Scooble. So
and rightfully so. I mean, Reagan's arguably the second best pitcher in the American League,
right?
behind Scooble.
Right.
So it's not, I don't mind that thought process saying it should be the same price because it's basically the same pitcher. My problem is the Royals can't score to save their lives.
That has been a problem.
There's no offense for them. And in playoff baseball games, if you can't manufacture offense, you just don't get many scoring chances. So if you can't manufacture offense at all, you just can't score. I mean, they're going to pitch around Bobby Witt, and they're going to make everybody else try to beat them in that lineup for the Royals. And there's just nobody on that lineup I'm afraid of besides Bobby Witt Jr.
Anything can happen in the playoffs. They could win
Of course.
and it go under. I think that the Royals win today.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to have to score.
What?
But 3 might be enough. They could win this game. Listen, Burns was brought to Baltimore for today.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he had a great season, did what he did, and, had some ups and downs. But you hand Burns the ball today. For Baltimore fans, all the pressure's on the Orioles today.
I don't think so.
The Royals are playing on house money.
But the Orioles don't have expectations because the Yankees are the ones that carried all the expectations.
Orioles have all the expectations. They came into the division into the season as the co-favorites with the Yankees to win the division.
Right, but I think in Baltimore, I think they know they have a team that's incredibly young. Their shortstop is 24 years old. I mean, they've got just young kids. Like the Orioles, this is not like a grizzled veteran team that's supposed to be here. I mean, their bullpen is still a problem. They had major injuries to the back end of their bullpen to start the year. Their starting pitching's been okay. It's not been great. I just think Burns gets it done here today, and I think Reagans gets hit. I think Reagans gives up 2 or 3, and I think it's all you need. First team to 3 wins the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the bullpens in the Kansas City Baltimore game very different than the bullpens in the Detroit Houston game.
Fair.
That's why I think if we get a long fly or something to get this game on an overpace in Detroit and Houston, the number's going to jump in game and you can go under even a better number. 6.5 is hard. Yeah. I mean, because 7 is the most common number on the craps table and on a baseball game. Mm-hmm. So I think you got to be very careful. The other game, I don't think is good. I mean, like we saw one of the craziest games ever yesterday with the Mets and the Braves. And there were multiple runs scored late, a lot.
Lindor.
I think, I think that could happen in the Kansas City Baltimore game today. I think that one could get like silly crazy.
But that benefits the Orioles.
Yeah, I don't know what benefits.
You don't want that. The Orioles lineup. If you're in a game like that, the Royals can't score. Like so if you get into a situation where the bullpens are a problem and the bullpens start giving up runs, the Orioles are the team that scores 6 runs in the 8th inning. Like they're the ones that can go out there and put up big crooked numbers like crazy offensively, in particular at home. Now they've been one of the best over teams on the road in the regular season. At home, they're a top 10 team to the over. They score. They also pitch, like most teams, better at home than they do on the road. So I'll be very, very excited to see what's going to happen here for both these games. I think it's chalk. I think both teams. I think it's a 2-game series in both. Orioles in 2. Orioles in 2. Tigers in 2. I mean, sorry, Orioles in 2 and Astros in 2.
Astros in 2 at Circa was plus 190.
Okay.
Orioles in 2 was plus 180.
Okay.
This morning. I just left. Now, you got some big numbers on Royals in 3, plus 340.
Wow.
I will say the Royals aren't winning in 2.
The Royals aren't winning. No, the Royals aren't winning in 2. No.
Detroit could win in 2, though. Detroit could win in 2. No? You don't think so?
I don't. No.
If they win today, they can't win tomorrow?
No.
Wow.
I'll be all over the Astros tomorrow. I'll be all over the Astros tomorrow. But again, this is why it's 8 for 8. I mean, this is a team that wins game 1. These have been mismatches. The higher seeded teams, pretty much, it's been the wild card teams. Now, the wild card teams have come out of this in the last 2 years and made a lot of noise. So, like, one of the 8 teams playing today could wind up in the World Series. So,
of course, one of the 8 teams today, 2 of the 8 teams today could end up in a World Series.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Right. So that's going to be interesting to see how these teams, when they're playing, they play this series, they play playoff baseball. I mean, we'll get to the other late games, the National League games later in the show, but it's, I like the Padres. That's all I got to say. I like the Padres a lot with what they've been doing. What happened last night? Charlie Hustle, the Hit King. Somebody posted, guys, you got to remember that we're not live, that the show was taped before this news really came out with the passing of Pete Rose. We mentioned it quickly because it happened during the show. So now we can take some more time to kind of give it time. So we got a negative comment on the Twitter on our YouTube saying like, why aren't you guys, why aren't you guys talking about the passing of Pete Rose? I was like, well, because
Literally happened when we were signing off the show yesterday.
It was just the end. So
yeah, we'll talk
83
about
years, long-time Vegas resident, a guy that we would see, I don't know how many times you probably saw Pete Rose, way more than me, but I saw him a ton in 10 years, autograph signings, appearances, openings. He was just around and banned for life. Even after all of the sports betting became legal and the sports books became an integral partner with Major League Baseball, Charlie Hustle still was not reinstated by Major League Baseball. Now that he has passed, how do you feel about if MLB puts him in the Hall of Fame?
They should have done it while he was alive.
Agreed.
I
don't think they should keep him out. I don't think I'll be furious if they put him in. Keep him out. I mean, you just keep him out. You kept him out his whole life. Now that he's passed and he's gone, do not put him in the Hall of Fame.
Why do you feel that way?
Should have been done when he was alive.
I mean, you can say that when you let him in.
That's horrible.
It is. It's a bad look. Period.
It's a horrible look.
It's a bad look. Period. By waiting, you've made your point. He's gone, and
so you honor him after the fact. He doesn't get his moment in the sun. So then, like, what do we do with Barry Bonds? Same thing. Barry Bonds dies. We put him in. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Like that's horrible. That's just, it's wrong. I mean, if you're going to hold them out while they're alive, you're holding them out, period.
Yeah.
Don't do it after the fact.
I don't know. I mean, I heard it and I was like, man, I saw Pete a couple times at the batting cages here.
Okay.
He came and like, there wasn't 3 people that knew who he was. Like all the young kids had no idea.
Right.
They had no idea who he was. Who's that guy with the weird hair in there talking? Like, I mean, like, that's the way
hitter to walk the planet.
Like, yeah, he has the most hits in Major League Baseball. He's the guy that has the most hits in Major League Baseball. Really? Yeah. Was he good? Oh, yeah. You should have seen him play. He played hard every at bat.
But if you made a mistake, like this is always like a thing, even with being a parent. I've like, if you're gonna punish your kid, punish your kid. Like if you're gonna hold to the punishment, hold to the punishment. Don't crack. If you're gonna hold to this, if he violated the most sacred rule in the history of baseball, if he did the thing that no one can ever forgive, then how do you say, well, now that he's dead, we're gonna allow him in? It just doesn't fly with me. Like I just don't think it's right. If you're gonna put him in when he's here. Put him in and say, look, these things happened. You did these things, but we changed our tune on gambling and we understand what you did was awful. You paid your penance. You were waited all the way till you're 81 years old. And now we're going to put you in because you go into the Hall of Fame because your hitting career, you didn't bet as a player, you bet as a manager. So we're not putting you in as a manager. We're putting you in as a player.
Give him a poll. I mean, I think it'll be unanimous. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame now?
No, I don't think it'll be unanimous. No. I think there's plenty of people who do not want him in the Hall of Fame. Still, I mean, I don't want Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
You want to wait till he dies?
No, I don't want him in the Hall of Fame, period. I don't want him in the Hall of Fame, period. I don't want Rose in the Hall of Fame, period. I mean, Rose as a player, because I've said this my whole career. Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame. All of their stuff is in the Hall of Fame. All their bats, all their cleats, their balls, their uniforms, they're all in the Hall of Fame. You can't have a Hall of Fame of baseball without Barry Bonds and Pete Rose. What's not there is their bust. You don't have their plaque. Here is Barry Bonds, played this time. Here is his stats. You don't have that.
Right.
So you don't give them the moment in the sun that they want at the podium where they can sit up there and start crying about their Little League coach and their high school coach and their travel ball coach and all this stuff. They don't get that moment. So you're robbing them of that seminal closing moment of your career, beginning and end, that every baseball player, every football player, everybody wants, who is an elite, great athlete,
right, to
put that bow. So you cheat, you don't get that moment. Pete Rose cheated, Barry Bonds cheated, don't get that moment. But they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, their stuff's in the Hall of Fame already because it's a museum of baseball. So like you go there and you'll see all sorts of Pete Rose stuff and you'll see Barry Bonds stuff, and rightfully so because it's baseball. It's the history of the game.
Give him a poll. I think we get at least 90% of the people want to see Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame now. I mean, I wanted to see him in the Hall of Fame when he was alive, just to say, everybody could go and listen to him talk and get his moment in the sun in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
It would have been the right
I would
thing
have
to do.
supported it. I would have supported it. I would have absolutely supported it to say, put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I mean, okay, if you want to say Pete Rose as a baseball player was one of the greatest hitters to ever walk the earth, you can't have a museum.
Not even a debate.
You can't have a museum to the game of baseball without having Pete Rose be a part of it. So even though we know what Pete Rose did, we know what Pete Rose was about, we have changed as an organization, as an entity, as a baseball family. We have changed our opinion on gambling. We used to think it was the most toxic, dangerous thing ever. It was cyanide to the game. Now it's not. Now it's a lifeblood. Now it's every inning. I mean, when you watch the games today, guys, BetMGM is sponsoring every single bullpen. You're going to see big signs right in front of the bullpen. And if somebody hits a home run into the bullpen, they're going to give $50,000 in bonus bets to anybody, split it among all the people who bet that player on this day to hit a home run. I mean, it is literally like it is integrated with the game. 100% integrated with the game. Jose Canseco's not a Hall of Famer, Mikey Awesome. I wouldn't put Jose in the Hall of Fame. He's not a Hall of Famer. So it doesn't matter to me about Canseco not being in the Hall of Fame.
JR33312 put in the chat, coming from a guy who grew up with the Big Red Machine, Hit King is in everyone's personal Hall of Fame. Since he lied for so long, I was always okay for the Hall to wait for him to pass before being inducted. I think a lot of people will feel that way too. But I mean, it's over. He's gone. Right? Like, time does heal all wounds. All right? He made a mistake. He got punished for it. And,
yeah, this is true. Rose said he didn't want to go in.
So Eron Sean said he was interviewed on Le Batard and asked this question, and he said he didn't want in when he passes. There's a lot of anger there.
And I would be angry. I would be angry. If I was him, I would be angry. Yeah. Every damn day I'd get up and go, what the hell? I mean, kind of go inside the school of our history, but like we were talking to a company at one point that had Pete Rose as one of their main pick guys.
Yep.
Like he was going to be a handicapper. He's going to sell picks. Pete Rose picks.
There's a lot of things that people will pay you money for. And, we've had talks like that with people and with just on the show. I mean, you can buy people, you can sell people, but people aren't commodities, and your integrity is your word. And what you have is that's all you have. But when the time you go, all you take with you is your name and the body that you lived in. That's it. So, I mean, at some point, could he have said, yeah, I bet on it. Now what do I got to do?
He did do that.
I'm sorry.
He did do that. He didn't say I'm sorry. He didn't say sorry. He did say it. He never came around. He never had the hat in hand moment. And everyone has said that for Pete. Pete, just go do a mea culpa. Go tell everyone what you did and say you're sorry. Every time Pete Rose would say he's sorry, he would say, yeah, but. I'm sorry, but. Yeah, but. He never came and had that moment where he was just sitting there on the couch having a conversation with Oprah or someone like that, pouring out his guts about where he was, what he was doing, his life. He never gave a look into that time in his life. It was always like, I did what I wanted to do. Get out of my way. And people didn't like it. And people pushed back on it. And they got angry. And so they're like, fine, you know what? If you're going to hold to this and you're not going to have that, that moment, you're not going to break character for anything, then we're not putting you in. But it is incredibly awkward given the fact that there is a huge influence on gambling on the game of baseball. And Pete Rose, for the longest time, was the face of the dangers that baseball feared when it came to betting.
No score after one inning in Houston. 0. Nerfy cashes. Scooble. Nice inning.
That was like $190, was it not? That was super expensive.
Absurdly priced, but rightly priced. It was going to happen, and it did. There was one ball hit in the outfield. The rest were ground balls and stuff for strikeouts. So that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I just know now the embracing of the gambling, the sponsorships, the money. There's sports books in ballparks, historic ballparks. It just doesn't feel right. And all of it is so immersed in it. We got the biggest star of the game now at the beginning of the season was caught up in a gambling scandal, but it wasn't because it was the interpreter and it wasn't, and it was this and it was that. And okay. And I'm glad I saw a picture of Pete with teammates yesterday. He was with Dave Concepcion, George Foster, Ken Griffey Sr. They were all hanging out somewhere in Kentucky, it looked like, or Nashville. I can't remember. It was good to see that picture. Sad that he's gone for him and his family, but
that's an interesting turn of phrase.
Lifetime ban is over. Put him in.
Interesting turn of phrase. You're banned for your life.
Right.
Your life is over.
Yeah.
It's an interesting turn of phrase.
Right.
I don't agree, but it's an interesting way of spinning it. It's a pretty good argument to say that Pete Rose's his lifetime ban is up.
There's other things going on too with Pete that I think may or may not come out someday that I think, and the Juice mentioned them there about in the chat. And there was some grumblings about all of that. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know any of that. I just know from a baseball standpoint, it seemed weird to take him and put him so far on the outside with everything that he did in Cincy, in Philly, and in Montreal. Like, I mean, the Expo years, he had a lot of career milestones wearing an Expo uniform.
Right.
And I don't know. It's a weird thing with gambling being such a big part of baseball now.
It's a big part of sports because we did the stuff with Jared Goff already. We talked about the Lions win with Jim Costa. If you missed that, you can scroll back and listen to the interview. It's a good one with Jim Costa. The Titans scored a touchdown last night with under 30 seconds left on 4th down, up 12.
They did.
Killed the under, which was the primary. Most people were on the under last night for that.
Yeah.
Do you have any issue with the bleep UTD?
No. What would be the issue?
It was absolutely pointless. Just an insulting move. The reason why they did it was because they wanted to stop this. This has been an overwhelming talk for the last year and a half in Tennessee that they hadn't scored more than 30 points since January 2nd of 2022. So they scored that touchdown to end that conversation, to score 31 points last night.
Listen, a lot of the unwritten rules are.
It's the Callahans. It's par for the course.
Interpreted. It's the
Callahans. It's what they do. This is what Bill did at Nebraska. It's what Brian's going to do at the Titans. It's just disrespectful ways. Take a knee, hand the ball over. The game's over. You won. You don't need to run that play.
People would say taking a knee is disrespectful. Just run it. Run the play. Stop them. What's the big deal? I don't know.
I take a knee, run the clock out, be done with the game, be over.
Did you have the under?
Of course, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I
had the over. You might have a different opinion.
I went 4-1 last night. It doesn't matter. It's still a 5-0 night. I went 4-1. I went 4-0 in the other game. I would have gone 1-0 in that game. I had one play in the whole game. It was the under. That's it. That touchdown. You could even say kick the field goal there. That would have killed the under, but at least it would have been a more logical play. They ran the ball on 4th down.
Yeah,
just take a knee.
Run the ball and run the clock.
No, because they wanted the 30. If they kicked it, it makes more sense to kick the field goal there.
They still had to score.
Yeah, but a field goal makes it 14, right? But a field goal makes it over 14. A field goal makes it 15 points. So it's 2 touchdowns. So you can play the logical game of like, well, if the crazy world happens, kick the field goal then. Okay, I still lose the under. It's still a crap move, but it makes more sense than to run the ball and try to score. You're trying to score a touchdown against a beleaguered, tired defense under 30 seconds, 4th down. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? It's just because they want to get themselves that they wanted to end this point streak. So it stopped the conversation in the media about when are you going to score 30 points? Because your offense is supposed to be this offensive guy and you haven't scored 30 points. This team can't score. This team is on offensive. They have a great defense because they do. On paper, the Titans defense right now is the best defense in football. On paper.
That's interesting.
So
how are you measuring that?
Just DVOA, points given up. Look at it. Titans defense is the number one defense in football. Now, I don't think it is, but numbers wise, they have a good defense. Their offense is the problem because Will Levis is a complete catastrophe. And so you have Tyler Huntley on the other side. I don't know what that offense that Mike McDaniel was running last night. That was a high school offense. They didn't know what to do in that game yesterday. Only reason I was watching it is because I had two games on at the same time watching the Lions game. I was like, thank God the Lions game started. A decent football game. Titans, Dolphins was horrible.
Yeah, that was a tough watch. That was a tough watch. I don't know. I mean, as a coach, you just tell them run the ball, and if you get in, you get in. I mean, if they didn't get in, would it have been better?
No. You can go down. You can say, "Hey, get the first down and go down." You don't have to score. Let's go down. If that's the case, run the play. Hey, don't score. No need to score.
Why?
Get the first down. Go down.
Why would you do that?
Don't give the ball back to them. If we're playing strategy, we're playing how we're supposed to play the game. Don't score there.
The game is over at that point.
Correct. It's already. Thank you. Game's already over. So what's the
you
point?
Run the ball
and then go down. Don't score. Tell the guy, hey, get the first down. Go down. Don't score. To say it's a fourth down play. Get the first down. Be done.
You just run the ball.
And then you go down without scoring. It's just a classy thing to do.
Incentives.
You don't need to run and run someone's face into it. You don't need to run the
sound
score
like
up.
someone who had the under.
I did, but it's not the point. Again, I'm more okay. Kick the field goal. Like play the strategy. That would kill the under too. We're at 36. I was under 37. So a field goal kills my bet. So this is nothing to do with my bet. Again, I don't care about my bet. It's just that play in that moment made no sense. That was a disrespectful play to do that. And again, it's because they were trying to score 30 points and stop the narrative that's been going on in Nashville about this team not being able to score 30 points. Everyone else in the NFL has scored 30 points multiple times over the course from January 2nd, 22 to last night. And they hadn't done it. So that was the coaching staff trying to get to 30 by having that play be run.
There could have been, plays that, point differentials come into play. You got to score points. I don't know. I think you might be reading a little too much into it. Wow, we got a double play that's not a double play. First and third for the Tigers, top of second. Come on, baby.
That double play was not a double play. What do you mean?
No, it was a double play ball, but he beat it out at first. That should have been at the end of the inning. Now he's got 2 outs, runners at first and third for the Tigers. That just could be breakthrough time. Let's go.
The Dolphins watched that game. It's not a bad point. Game was horrible.
Didn't the Dolphins score 70 on somebody last year? Dolphins scored 70 on somebody last year.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Titans, though. I might believe it. If the Titans got hung 70, it's payback. What are you doing? Payback for somebody else? That's dumb.
I don't know.
Can't do payback for somebody else. And anyways, that Dolphins team is a shell of what they are normally right now.
Boy, they're bad.
They're bad. I mean, and according to Adam Schefter, he said it last night, that it looks like Tua is going to play this year. They're expecting to bring Tua back. Why?
Oh, well, because they're not going to win another game without him.
Fair, but
I don't think. But I mean,
the point? Punt the season.
He's got to know the ramifications of playing. I don't know.
Taking a big hit. This from the category of good luck. The ex-Jaguar employee who was accused of stealing thousands of dollars and then going and betting it is now suing FanDuel for $250 million.
Wow.
$250 million
for not stopping him.
So this is a great
I haven't
article.
read the article yet.
Okay. It's by David Payne Purnham. A former Jacksonville Jaguars employee who stole more than $22 million from the team is suing FanDuel in federal court, claiming the sportsbook, quote, exploited his gambling addiction and intentionally ignored its responsible gaming and anti-money laundering protocols. In a civil lawsuit filed in the Southern District of New York, as David Purnham writes on ESPN.com today, an attorney for Emmett Patel alleges that FanDuel incentivized him to keep playing daily fantasy sports despite showing signs of problem gambling. According to court documents, he transferred approximately $20 million to FanDuel. The sportsbook gave him $1.1 million in credits, as well as a trip to the 2023 college football championship game and the Masters in 21 and 22 and the Formula One Miami Grand Prix. He's asking for $250 million in compensatory and punitive damage.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, the lawyer that took the case thinks he's got a case. That's crazy. I can't wait to read that. 1-0 Tigers, by the way. Base hit, swinging 3-0. Aggressive baseball. Now it's first and second with 2 out, and the Tigers have a lead. Scooble has a lead. Oh, baby. Oh, Tigers. Oh,
Hammer the Astros live.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's 3-0?
Oh, another base hit.
2-0?
Oh,
well, then wait. Wait then on that.
Oh, another base hit. It's 2-0. Oh, my goodness. Framber's sweating. Oh, my. This is exciting. This is good. Okay. So a couple things to unpack, right? You got to know where the money's coming from, apparently.
Well, he stole it.
Guy never asked.
Well, why would FanDuel ask?
You got to ask. You're supposed to ask.
Yeah.
So who's that on? Right? That's that now. So is that grounds for legal, suing? Are you going to get money because they didn't ask? I don't know.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
Right.
I don't know how in civil court, how would the KYC laws come into play?
Well, they're going to find out. This is going to be one of those things that's going to set the precedent for how sports books and VIPs and how you can just give a guy $1 million. You gave a guy $1 million to gamble with, and you gave him tickets and you gave him a bunch of things.
He gave you 20. You gave him 1. He gave you 20.
Okay, so you just invented 5%. You just gave him money. I mean, that wasn't real cash. You just put money in his account so he could keep playing.
Right.
Hey, where you been? I'm going to load you up. Okay, well, I'll double it up. I'll add some. Okay, good. And as long as the guy keeps depositing, you keep feeding the beast. I don't know. I got to read the article. I just know that, there's going to be responsible gaming talk. There's going to be a lot of things. Astros or Astors. All right, come on, JR. Astors. I'm just kidding you. What do you think? Like, they're going to make this go away, right?
Who? FanDuel?
Yeah. Put on your Counselor Perrault hat.
No, I don't think you can make this go away. I think they'll fight it to the end. I think they'll fight this. This guy wants $250 million. What's it going to take for a settlement? 2? He's going to jail for stealing.
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to do is, and maybe he goes for $250 and he says to FanDuel, pay the money back to the Jaguars that I stole. 3-0. Yeah, just wait. Don't bet the Astros yet. Hold on a second. Don't bet the Astros yet. Wait for that.
Oh my God.
Again, Dave, they got to win 2 games. If they win today, they're losing tomorrow. And then game 3, they have nobody to pitch. Like, this is the problem with the Tigers. They're one team. They're one pitcher. You can't have Scooble go all the time. So, he's already in jail, King Cards. He's already got 6.5 years. He's already in jail. Okay.
Daniel G. Brother, I might pass out.
It's early, dude. You're a Tigers fan. Don't you know this? Relax, all of you. Didn't you see the game yesterday? Like, guys, pump the brakes here.
Got Scooble, baby.
You want to get excited? Pump the brakes here. Like, your bullpen is awful. Get this to the 7th inning and then talk to me. If it's 3-0 in the 7th, be careful. That's all I'm saying. I just wonder, if he's in jail already, so the point is you take what? You get the money when you come out? So you're trying to set yourself up when you're out of jail? Is that the idea?
I don't know what the idea is. I honestly don't, other than trying to get FanDuel to say, here's $5 million, go away. Because the last thing I think FanDuel wants to do is fight this. They don't want to fight this because then they're going to have to talk about how VIP works and how you can just create a fiat currency at the flash of a snap of a finger and go, wait, you guys incentivized this guy $1 million over this time? You never thought once to ask where the money's coming from? If they have the Massachusetts Gaming Commission poking around in how they operate.
Yeah, it's New York. This is filed in New York.
Well, between New York and Massachusetts, the 2 places, I don't think anybody wants to open up any doors. I think FanDuel will want this to go away. I think this is a Hail Mary by him, but I mean, I did not get my JD degree. I did not go to law school despite
I'll be really curious. I'll be really, really curious to see how this whole thing plays out. The KYC stuff is fascinating, though. That's a really good point.
Well, and the responsible gambling stuff.
Well, that's what he's claiming.
How many times did the guy tried to stop?
Well, that's why you're right. Maybe they do pay for it to go away. What's the lowest number he takes? It's a good question. I don't know. Because FanDuel we know they can make up money. So take $5 million and just, maybe Dave's right. Here's $5 million, go away.
I don't know.
But he's going to pay. I don't know what, I guess King Car Seats answer this question. What was the restitution he has to pay to the Jaguars? They wanted all the money back. The Jaguars are going after FanDuel. They want the money. So it's like they want $22 million back.
Yeah.
So like, my question would be, what is the payback that if he got $5 million, does that money go straight to the Jaguars? Like, I feel like 250 is he's going to give the Jags 22 and then he wants another 200. Like, he wants to make money on it.
Listen, man, he gambled the money away.
Yep.
He stole the money to gamble with.
He ain't back in bonus bets.
Right? Oh, God. That's not even fun. That is funny, Sonic. They're not worried about making him right. Like they're
not making the Jaguars right.
Well, I think everybody now is seeing what I know I've been saying to you on and off the air. It's not all rainbows and fun. Like there's a lot of crap that comes with this whole industry space and a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it's all bubbling up. I mean, there's a federal legislation bill being discussed to try to watch everything and police everybody. And
that's coming. I mean, people have been telling me I'm crazy about that, but I've been saying federal intervention is coming in the next 5 years. It's coming.
And
they're going to get involved.
Massachusetts Gaming Commission is holding, hearings on books and bettors and the relationship and why things go this way and that way. And they've been talking about the advertising underneath, what we see on TV and radio and the internet being a problem. Like this is going to be not just an open and shut case. This is going to set precedent for a lot of things. And I think it's going to be, oh, geez, Scuba just took one off his arm. Is he okay? A line drive back to the mound. I hope that it is glove and not his arm, because that will change everything. Uh-oh. Oh, no. This is bad news.
Tried to tell you guys. This is baseball.
Bad news.
Oh, Tiger fans, I tried to tell you.
Okay.
You just got to be careful. It's his catching hand, though. It's not his pitching hand. It's his right hand.
Yeah, but you cannot pitch with
why not?
Pitch with a broken hand?
Who do you call a pitch with one hand? Jack Abbott, right? Jim Abbott? Jim Abbott played pitch with one hand. So
I mean, he did that for his whole life, not in the first game of the wild card series. Like, calm down here.
Just saying, I don't know.
All right, he's fine. He's fine. Atta, baby. Shake it off. I mean, when you follow through, get your glove up. Oh, man, that almost got him in the dang.
I don't know if it's fine, but it's they'll go ahead and throw it on.
We'll have to keep a very close eye on this, because there were a lot of things that I saw done back in the island days,
right?
That were completely, you did what you wanted to do. I mean, the only license you had was down there, so you could operate. So you could give guys money. You didn't care where the money came from and all that. Now I come to Vegas and I see different types of promotions and things, and that's a whole book of what went on. And then passes, and they're doing the same stuff in different states, but then they're doing it differently in each state. You got a guy who was working for the Jacksonville Jaguars, stealing money and betting in fantasy leagues and high stakes fantasy and all this other stuff. This is next level stuff. And it has ramifications for how any VIP stuff is going to work after this.
We got a bunch of college football to get to. It's a Tuesday. Evan Abram, by the way, from the Action Network, the guy who gives us all these unbelievable nuggets, he's on the show tomorrow. So that's going to be a lot of fun to get with him about how many hours he spends getting these things ready, because there are some absolute gold nuggets. And I'll tell you guys, I'll tell him his list. This is responsible for my start in college football with how good of a start I have had. This stuff that he's pointing out, that he's putting out from the Action Network, is absolutely betting gold. Cannot wait to get him on the show tomorrow. But before we do that, he left. Or he keeps on leaving.
Who?
So JC keeps on popping in and out. He's there and he's gone. He's there and he's gone. He's gone again.
He's gone.
So we were gonna. I don't know if he's at work. He's trying to like do like a quick pop in and like do it for his job. Doesn't see. But if he comes back, we'll put him on. We'll go to Kansas City and we'll get an update from a brigade member who's a big Royals fan, getting ready for the second game today here for the Royals and the Orioles, with Burns going up against arguably the best pitcher in Reagan's for the Royals.
Yeah.
So if he comes back, we'll pop him in. So I don't know if he's listening to the show or watching the show, but come on back in. We'll throw you up on this. But the Action Network, here's some interesting notes. Mike Gundy in the month of October is 46-25 against the spread. He's 13-3 over the last 5 seasons. Oklahoma State is hosting West Virginia this week, a team that I do not like. What do you make of that? 13-3 in October, because these trends in the NFL, at least, have come true, because we talked about it last 2 weeks. Sean Payton in week 3, in week 4, is the #1 most profitable head coach in the history of NFL football. Okay. In week 3, in week 4, he pulled off 2 enormous upsets.
Yes, he did.
Gundy at 13-3 in October, worth paying attention to in my mind for this game against West Virginia.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at this for the first time. So you just want to blindly bet this based on that?
It's not blindly, but it puts me into the conversation of looking at it. Yes, it makes me look at this game very closely as to a game I want to bet Oklahoma State to lay the 4 points against West Virginia.
Where's the game?
At Oklahoma State.
Should the number be higher? You're saying?
Oh, it's painted 3.5 now. Okay, so
yeah,
drop down.
That's what I mean.
It's coming down now. It's great. Get me to 3. I'll be in love with it.
Let me just take a quick look. I'm looking at the college football lines for the first time right now. So we got West Virginia. Time's the game start. My God. There it is. 66.
Big 12 game.
66? What the hell is that?
It's a Big 12 game.
That's a dog. You take dog and that with all those points, I think you take dog. But again, just first look, I don't know.
I'll look at Oklahoma State. Give me 3. I love it. Give me 3. Alabama letdown against Georgia. Not likely. Alabama is 29-18-1 against the spread as a 14-point favorite or higher on the road. Bama's laying 23.
Okay, so hold on. Let's unpack it slow. Bama is 29-18-1 ATS.
As a 14-point
favorite or more on the road.
And then laying 23
a lot of little factors. Okay.
So laying 23, it'll be all
at Vandy.
All Bama fans.
How in the hell is Vandy? And there's a double down the line by the Tigers in the top of the third to start off the inning. Outstanding.
You're gonna get the bullpen up pretty quick there for the Astros.
Maybe
can't really go down 4-0.
I don't know. Boy, what a piece of hitting. It was outside pitch. He went down the right field line. How in the hell is Vandy going to score in this game? And let's just be perfectly honest. The handicap isn't out. Alabama looks like after that game, you want to bet Bama in the first half. You would go, are we back? Like, are we back? We're betting them in the first half, just like Tennessee. Like they look like they are
cooking.
Well-oiled machine offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy's going to provide 0 resistance, right? I mean, 0.
I won't say 0. Vandy's not horrible. Vandy should have beaten Missouri. So Vandy's not awful. But the idea that Alabama is going to go to Nashville and just fall apart, highly unlikely. This may be a complete stat stuffer. Oh, good stat there, Tyler Wyatt.
Vandy 11-19 at home. Last 30 is a home dog of 14 or more. Thank you, Tyler.
That's ATS, not straight up, because they got to be like 1 in 29.
Oh, winning the game. Yeah, that's ATS, yeah.
And yes, Vandy is the best Vandy team in years. Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
But
bad. 2-28 straight up. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
As a 14 or more point home dog. Look out. Yeah.
That's a blowout.
So Georgia has been, this is crazy. So I got a text this morning, I guess on Birmingham radio this morning, Greg McElroy was absolutely destroying the Auburn football program, saying they basically run the same play with the same sets every week, the same snap counts every week. There is no adjustment. There is no game planning, that the program is being run just in a horrific way, and that Georgia's going to kick the living daylights out of Auburn in historic fashion this weekend.
Is he wrong?
I don't know. The numbers would say he's right. Dogs are 9-2 ATS since 2014 against Auburn. The under is 8-3 in those games, but UGA's laying 24.5 against Auburn. This is the oldest rivalry in the South. I mean, this is a big rivalry. For those of you guys don't know, Athens, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama is on the Georgia side of the state. So they compete with each other like crazy for recruits in the western part of Georgia and eastern part of Alabama. Angry dogs.
This is going to be ugly too.
Ugly.
There's some big numbers this week, and this hopefully will be the last week where you get these
Well, next week's the week. Next week, October 12th, is the greatest week ever.
Yeah, there's going to be some really good games October 12th. But this week, there's a lot of big numbers. This is going to be one. I mean, lay it, I guess. How the hell is Auburn going to score more than 10 points?
And you have an angry Bulldog team after what happened. And you know that Carson Beck and company want to make their offense in the first half look better. I wouldn't mind Georgia in the first half. You get 14, wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that.
I mean, there's no trying to make it thinking of a case to make for one of the dogs that you've mentioned here. I can't do it. Not yet.
Wisconsin last week was a live play at halftime. I thought I was wrong. I laid the 14 with USC. USC outscored them 17-0 in the second half, and we wound up covering that number for USC. They win the game by 17 points against Wisconsin. Well, Michigan State's got a similar situation. They are awful when they go out west. Sparty is 0-4 straight up and ATS since 2005 when they're in the mountain or western or Pacific time zones. They are a 24-point dog to Oregon on Friday night.
Come on. I mean, again, another. Why are these numbers all 24?
Because it's just good versus bad. This is just bad football teams taking on the top 10 teams in the country. That all these numbers are really looking bad. But I would agree. How is Michigan State going to score? Right.
That's what I mean. There's going to be another one of those blowouts. This is, again, making a case for favorite. It's okay. Like college, the favorites can come in on Saturday and you win. And then you give it all back on Sunday when the dogs win.
Right. So there's these are the fun numbers. These are the games that are going to be fun to bet this weekend. Ole Miss. They lost at home in shocking fashion last week. Never should have lost that game, but Ole Miss, Jackson Dart's Heisman campaign, all of it is now up in smoke after that loss. Now Ole Miss can bounce back, and they very well might be. Lane Kiffin is 4-0 against the spread after a straight-up loss where he was a 7-point or more favorite. Get that?
Say that again.
Lane Kiffin is 4-0 ATS.
Okay.
After he loses straight up when he was favored by 7 or more in the previous week, which is what Ole Miss was. And they lost at home.
Okay.
Kiffin is 10-3-1 against the number as a road favorite since 2019.
So they're going there to win?
At Ole Miss, they're going there to kill South Carolina. It's a big number. 9.5, 10 is a tough number to lay, but Kiffin's been known to have a great bounce back spot, and they need it after last week. I mean, that was a stunning loss for Ole Miss.
Oh, first thought is the take there. Still trying to find that number. I mean, that's going up. Somebody's going to post a 10. It's only Tuesday. 9.5's not to take. You're waiting for 10.
Yep.
So
2 more.
Yeah.
Michigan has won 12 straight road games. Washington is laying 3 for Saturday. The look-ahead number was Michigan minus 8.5.
Yeah, that was a different life ago. That was a different life ago.
What do we do with this game?
I don't know. Costa was on. We asked him about Michigan. He's asking the question that I think a lot of people are asking this week. How's an unranked team favored by 3 against a ranked team?
Because Washington did, again, if they played Rutgers 100 times, Washington wins that game 99 times.
It's down to 2.
Woo! Here comes the play. So what it close that? It's going to close that pick then, no?
No.
Goes back up?
Yeah. It'll get to 1 at some point. Again, when they take the 3 early, then you can go back there at any point and get the 3. Turn that double play. Spin it. Oh, man.
Because we haven't discovered the forward pass, JPC.
Damn it. JPC the 4th. Did he get the link? Is he ready?
I don't know.
Is JPC the 4th? Check your email. Claire, check.
It was all set.
You and JC from KC.
I don't mind it. If they want to watch the game, let them watch the game. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see him watching the game for a second, though. That's all.
It's fine.
If he can pop in. First thought in these situations for me is Washington. You?
Yeah, but I was on them last week and it burned me. So I got to be careful. I got to look into see what the number is going to be. 2, I like Washington. You give me below 3, but 3, I'm kind of like, I don't know. But 2, yeah, I like Washington. I just don't like it. I don't like. I'm not a very big fan of Michigan's
email
and their offense. So at home, it's a different story. Michigan at home can run that offense and ride the home crowd and ride defense. On the road, different story. Hard place to play too in Washington. That's not easy to go to UW in Seattle. It's one of the louder places.
Yeah, not surprised. I think it's better that Washington lost, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I think we'll have to keep an eye on the number. It's going to drop down. Michigan's going to be a public dog. Might win. Everything's coming up roses in Michigan. No pun intended. Rose Bowl. Is it still Rose Bowl? There is,
but it's not the Rose Bowl of our childhood. It's a bowl game that's called the Rose Bowl. That's about it.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
It's a Big Ten game. Michigan and Washington is a Big Ten game.
It's a conference game.
I just don't. I'm gonna do that 100 times this season. When you see playing at Penn State.
Yeah, this week is this is the week you really got to do a double take. You're like, wait, it's a conference game. Like Michigan, Washington, UCLA is at Penn State.
USC is at Minnesota.
Yeah, USC's at Minnesota. That was like, who's USC playing? I knew it was somebody funky. They're playing Minnesota. Yeah, it's a Big Ten game. And they're back-to-back roadies. I mean, they got to play Michigan and Minnesota back-to-back. USC just lost to Michigan. Now they're playing Minnesota. Weird. One more game. Tennessee is at Arkansas. Josh Heupel is now 51-22-2 ATS. On the road, Josh Heupel's teams are 28-8-1 against the number in the first half. It's 6.5 or 7.5. The numbers here in Vegas, because they know what we're going to bet. I've been shopping this for the last 24 hours. In Vegas, it's 7.5. Outside of Vegas, it's 6.5. I'm almost tempted to drive to Arizona to go get the number in Arizona.
The first half?
Yes. 7.5 here. 6.5, not in Nevada.
Arkansas have any chance of winning the game?
No.
They ain't going to be able to score nearly enough points.
No. I mean, this Tennessee, they're off a bye. I mean, Tennessee's off a bye. Like their first half, they're going to come out with all sorts of new plays. They're going to, I mean, it was a hard fought loss up against Arkansas.
A&M, right?
Oh, A&M, sorry. Yeah. Up against A&M for Arkansas in Jerry's world. They covered. They were catching 5.5 and they covered in that game. But I'll be curious to see what happens in this one, because this is just a blind bet. I bet it every week. I'm betting it again. It's just, I just try to find the best number. 6.5 is a much better number, though.
Yeah.
So much better number.
I can't believe that two games didn't make the list today.
Well,
UCLA is going to get housed at Penn State.
It's not. It's all from action. There's no big trend number in that game.
Well, yeah, it's the first time maybe ever that they played there.
That's why there's no big trend game.
It's a noon start local.
What's the other one?
Friday night, baby. Friday night.
There's no trend for UNLV against Syracuse. There's nothing. We'll talk about it. We'll spend time talking about it. We're going to the game.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll spend time talking about it. I can't wait to be there. It's gonna be awesome to watch. We'll have plenty of time to break it down and get into it because it's going to be a ton of fun to watch. It's the talk of campus. I tell you right now, there's a buzz on campus for that team. There's fun.
A buzz in Houston as the Astros are retired in the bottom of the third, despite having a couple runners on. It's 3-0 Tigers after 3, baby.
It's all right.
JPC, get in there. Hit the email. Oh my God. No, yeah, if you're coming to the game this weekend, reach out to me at SportsBKConsig. You can email me. I probably won't check it though. SportsBKConsig@gmail.com or DM the show here, Boston versus the book, Sports Talk Matt on the Twitter, or email the show, thebvbshow.com. We'll be there Friday. I'm pumped. I am pumped up. Do we have to do anything else, by the way, to do that? I didn't look. I didn't check.
I think we need to email somebody,
okay.
But I have Mark's number, so we can.
All right.
We can call Mark if we need to get it taken care of for the game. It should be fun. WNBA playoffs, not just the only sport in playoff. We have 2 playoff games here tonight for the WNBA with Vegas and New York laying 4. Vegas lost. You guys don't know, Vegas lost game 1. They're the back-to-back WNBA champs.
5-game series, Pete.
5-game series. 5-game. 2-2-1 format.
Okay.
This is game 2. Totals 163.5. Numbers been going between 4.5 and 3.5. It's been going back and forth, back and forth. There was a little bit of a play this morning on New York to go back up from 3.5 to 4 on this. I just think championship pedigree wins out tonight. I think Asia's got a game tonight to put up a number. Can't see Vegas because I think they do lose this series. I do think they lose this series to New York. I think
JY was pretty convincing yesterday.
I think he's right about New York. I think it's New York against Minnesota, and then it's kind of a coin flip as to who wins. But New York is going to be a tough.
I don't know. I think they hold home court. I think they win.
Oh, it's over if that happens. That's it.
What do you mean?
The Aces have not to win 3 games in a row against New York. Not happening.
Oh
no, not happening. And it's fine. I mean, it has to come to an end. It's much like the Chiefs, right? You win back to back, you're not winning 3 in a row. Like it's just too many things pop up, too many problems are there. I mean, Travis Kelce is doing a game show. He's been how did that guy work out at all in the offseason? Shooting plays, or sorry, shooting shows, hosting game shows. Like it's wild. Yeah, I saw that. It's only 23 points. I think it's really low. To be honest with you, I think it's really, really low for her
tonight. Should it be?
She's had the most 40-point games in WNBA history this season.
Right.
She might. I mean, it's New York. It's the playoffs. It's tough. I get it. But, I think it's going to be really cool to see how this plays out.
First thought is, and again, I haven't watched a game since the playoffs started.
Okay.
I have not watched one game.
You didn't miss much in the first round, so.
Okay. And I saw the highlights of this one in game 1.
Wasn't good for
JY was pretty convincing yesterday that this might be New York in 4. They win both home games and split here.
Maybe. I think Vegas wins tonight. And I think it's in 5. I think it goes 5 and New York wins in 5.
Okay.
They split here. They split in
and
Vegas.
The winner of this series wins it all?
No, I don't know who wins, but I think Minnesota wins. They lost game 1. I think Minnesota wins this series, but I'm not sure they win. They cover that 4.5. They've been playing games against Connecticut really tight all year long. This is right inside this number. I'm scared for this number.
Okay.
So I have a play. I'm better to book it as to how I'm attacking this game. That's not getting involved with points with point spreads. All right, let's go ahead. Someone's celebrating, so there must be something good going on here. We have a brigade member in the 313.
Look at this beast.
He's
What's up?
Hold on. There we go.
Oh, I get the big box.
You get the big box. Yeah.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
What's up? Good. Good.
This is Joe Faircheck, JPC the fourth, one of our 313 guys. How do you feel right now, sir?
Kind of shocked. Like, I like talking smack, but I didn't think Framber would be this erratic. Like, I took him over 16 and a half out, so that's not looking good.
Yeah,
but
and
also I had the Tigers and Astros to be tied after 2, so he kind of dicked me.
Oh, okay. All right. Stay focused. I only need you for 2 more minutes.
All right.
Things are really looking good for the Lions. Like, last night was pretty exciting, and then you get playoff baseball today. Can you explain what it's like for a fan and a guy who's been there a long time and hasn't had like all of the? It's been a while. You were a kid the last time all of this was looking, right?
It was like reversed. Like in 06, when Verlander was a rookie, we made it to the World Series, and on and off in there through like the Stafford years, we had decent Lions teams. So, that's like a ball to go down to Detroit when they have day baseball and then the Lions play later on, or vice versa. But it's never happened when the Lions are actually good. Like, it's the complete opposite now. And I hope the Tigers win. But like, I just want them to get one game in Detroit where all these kids, because I think it was me and another brigade, Fisher, I think were about 2 weeks ago, were at the same game when they played the Rockies, and it was like a day 1 o'clock matinee, and the park was kind of filling up. But like the last 2 series that we had, they did like the big promotion in Detroit, packed the park, and like sheep, we all came out, like everyone, and the park was like packed. So it would be cool to get like an unexpected playoff game there, because like people are just now realizing that it was kind of not a running joke, but more of like, the Tigers, like we'll talk in the chat, like, the Tigers are going to make the playoffs, where we didn't effing know. But, now they're actually in it. So it's like, well, let's get a home game. Let's get a little greedy here.
Oh, yeah. Look, you win today, you have a home game. Just win today.
And that's
take care of it.
No,
today.
they don't, because the 3-game series is all in the road park.
That's right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
I thought the same thing, Matt.
No,
sorry.
No, they got.
I forgot about that.
So they got it. They got to win the series
to get there.
And then they'll get 2 home games. With the possibility of 2 home games. So I get it. All right. I mean, you're through and through a Detroit guy, 313 Michigan, and all this other stuff. What team gets you like still here? Like, is it the Lions? Is it the Tigers? Is it the Michigan Wolverines? Is it
they won it all last year in Michigan, though?
The Pistons? Is it the Red Wings? Are you a hockey guy? You heard Costa. What is it that gets them feelings down low, like gets you excited, JP?
The Lions get everyone. Like, people like, I'm your age, Matt. I'm 47. So we had the roar of 84, Kirk Gibson, Lance Parrish, Jack Morris when we were kids, and didn't realize it, like 7, 8 years old. 87, they made it back, but ran into Kirby Puckett. But then, like, the Tigers had success, 2006, and then we had the year where Big Poppy took Joaquin Benoit with that bleeder that barely made it over the fence in Fenway. And that was probably one of the best pitching staffs the Tigers ever had. So we lost. So the Tigers, I've seen that. But the Lions, like, I mean, all we had for years was, but we have the best player. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, to some extent Stafford. But, like, Goff has made Stafford pretty much irrelevant here.
Do you guys care about the cop in the bullpen with the Ortiz grand slam? Does that because it doesn't get
No. We're more about Leland for bringing him in, or it was more a Leland question. No,
because that picture is in everyone's living room in Boston of the when Poppy hit the grand slam. It's funny that it happened against the Tigers because a lot of Red Sox fans don't remember that it happened against the Tigers. They remember the moment, but they don't remember the grand slam that Ortiz hit in the playoffs against the Tigers.
Do you remember our pitching staff?
It's great.
Verlander, Scherzer, Sanchez, Fister, literally this 21st century. That is one of the best starting pitcher staffs, but literally the bullpen, and the rest is history. So,
all right, last one for me, sir. I'm gonna let you go back and watch and enjoy this game. I got the D hats. I picked up the big D and the little D.
You got a couple coming.
Which one? Oh, well, that's fantastic news. That's great. I need them. But which one is more acceptable for the Tiger fans? Is it because I know they went away from the big D? No, they like the little D apparently sometimes.
Yeah.
Too. Which one is it, Claire Chick?
I don't discriminate. I'm partial to number 3, which is the old Sparky Anderson one, which is the orange D.
Oh,
that one.
That was the one that always was, because that was when we were kids.
Yep.
All the Tigers wore the Magnum PI Tom Selleck ones, like the ones Dave had on that had the small D.
Yes.
But Sparky was the only one who wore the orange one. So that was the one I
like the orange one. That reminds me of Sparky Anderson for sure. Yes, that's a good hat. It's a good hat. I do like Dave's hat a lot though. I like the old school. The old English script D is pretty nice.
Oh, wait till you see one of them. You got. You'll see, Dave, when it gets there.
I can't wait. Clear Chick sending me hats, baby. I got to get you another hat. So
I sent something for Corbin to work on.
Oh, but perfect. All right, good. Corbin, if you're watching, there's one of the guys that's going to represent. Thank you for taking the picture, by the way, and posting it. When you go out, you're taking it outside the Lions practice facility. You're taking one and taking it at the Detroit, at the ballpark. So keep up the good work. Thanks for joining us today. It wasn't that bad, right? You're not nervous.
No, always.
Good job, my friend. Enjoy the game.
Right.
Last night was fun.
Go Tigers!
What happened with the Tigers tonight? Appreciate you joining us here on BVB. It's always fun to check in with brigade members and see what they're up to and see what they're doing on watching a game. So he's doing what everybody in Detroit's doing right now. That's just playing hooky and just watching baseball, right? I'm sick. can't come to work.
It's the best. It's the daytime best, man. The best. It's the best.
Everyone can't do it. All right, we had 2 night games in the National League. The American League games, we talked about them already. With night games, Mets and the Brewers. What do you expect out of the Mets here today? Because both the Braves and the Mets have got to be running on fumes.
It's one of those things. It goes one of 2 ways. Their pitching is toast, right? You go from that game yesterday,
the bullpen,
the bullpen. Yeah, it's done. It's cooked. So you say to Severino, you got to go wear it. You got to go.
In a playoff game.
It's tough. It's a terrible spot to be in unless you're Severino and you go, give me the ball. Let's go. Mets and under, right? They're going to win if he pitches good, real good. But I don't know. I think Brewers. And I love the Mets. I love what they're doing.
It's hard to
yesterday. I love Lindor. But today, after that, it's Brewers. You?
Can the Mets win this series?
Yes. It's baseball, bro. Yes. Why can't they? They don't win today. They can win tomorrow. But, the stats say, and again, that's why they play the games, because the stats don't always win. The trends are your friends until they're not. There's a lot of things happening. Boy, oh boy, there's going to be just traffic on the base paths the rest of the way in this one. Alvarez just leads off the 4th with a base hit. Just Astros are not going away, boys. It's going to be very stressful.
It's one game. It's
do
the
you
first game.
No, but it's every game.
It's stressful. It's the first game.
You got to win.
I know, but this is not your team. Who's stressful for? It's one game. Even if you have money on them, it's still one game. You got to win the series. You got to win another game tomorrow.
I know, but there's things that if they win this game, then other things
but they can still lose 2
tomorrow.
games. They can lose tomorrow and they can lose on Wednesday.
I know, but we're going to win today.
Got to win today. Yeah, but you win the School Bowl game, okay. But now, again, I'm more. The reason why I'm on the Astros is because if you win the School Bowl game, okay, who's pitching behind him? They've got
Who's
you can
pitching
only
behind Framber?
You can only what?
Who's pitching behind Framber?
I'll take the offense for the Astros up against non-School Bowl arms against the Tigers, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Give Dave, focus. You're right. Sorry, D Stout. You're right. Chaos, JPC the fourth. You're right. This is bad. Give the boys and girls a poll to vote on because they voted for the Pete Rose thing. Yes, 86%. Why is it not 14? It's 86-13. Voted for Pete Rose. Yes. Mets or Braves or Mets or Brewers. I mean, Mets or Brewers win today.
Today or the series?
No, just today. Just today. We're going to vote today. I'm curious as to what people will say.
I mean, the Mets can win, but the Mets are playing on fumes. It would be wild.
Yeah, it's baseball. When they
wild.
win yesterday, they go fly right back to. I mean, they probably left the rooms like this. They were just there in Milwaukee. Why can't they go win a game? Severino's got to pitch great. Like Severino can't give up more than 3 runs.
Brewers' offense is my worry on all this. Like I don't
lack
love
of
it.
or explosive nature of.
I don't like it. It's too inconsistent for me. It's just I'm worried about them being able to score in the playoffs. So the Mets have more boom or bust than the Brewers do. You need Lindor and you need Pete. You need bombs. You need to go ahead and just start and send the ball big home runs.
I'm surprised again. Like I just looked at the board for the day in baseball. And my God, go foul. Oh, he almost hit a home run. Just foul. The line's the same. The line for Milwaukee and the Mets is the same as it is for Burns and Reagans, as it is the same for Valdez and Skubal.
Yeah. Aren't you the one that said just put the number up and let the bettors tell you where to go?
It's exactly that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you want to tell me that the books have a lean, have an opinion, this and that. Make it minus 140 and let them bet it. It doesn't even matter who's pitching. I can't believe the number's the same. I feel like the games are different. Right? I mean, it's 7.5 for the total. This is the highest total along with the other National League game. 7.5.
Who is the Braves pitching? Chris Sale's not on the line, not on the roster for the Braves.
What do you mean? He's not even on the roster?
He's not on the roster. Chris Sale's not pitching in this series.
Oh boy. Yikes.
Who are they throwing today? Do we know yet?
Let me see. If you guys see it, put it up. Let me see if I can find it. AJ Smith Scheuer.
Okay. Yep. Okay. One of their youngsters. Not good. Not good.
Let's see. He started 1 game this season. 4 1/3, 4 Ks, 2 walks, 1.15 whip. Wow. All right, kid.
It's a reliever. It's a bullpen game for the Braves.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
housed.
He's 21. He's from Fort Worth, Texas, 6'3", 205 pounds.
Gonna get housed.
Why?
Because the Padres
tell him it's a kid. You just say, go out there and throw.
Need 9 outs. That's all you're looking for is 9 outs.
Get through the order once.
Yep.
That's not a bad idea.
It's a dream.
How do you manage that game? After what happened yesterday and how you had to lose game 1, you get the news. Wow. You get the news that he's not playing. He can't pitch. Your guy's going to win the Cy Young. Santana just said it in the chat. Pods in 2 is plus 200. Yikes, Braves. Now, I'll maybe put the Brave stuff on for Sports Grid tonight. Be the last time I get to wear it. That's done.
Yep.
You want to talk about feeling a certain way for the series? The biggest shock will be the Braves beating the Padres, no?
Yes.
I mean, even if the Tigers beat the Astros, even if the Royals beat the Orioles, the biggest surprise right now would be the Braves beating the Padres.
Yeah. One more story, then better to book it here. We may need to put better to book it into bonus time. The New York State Gaming Chair, in an open hearing this week, had one of the most telling comments to DraftKings about their surcharge proposal. This is what the chair said. O'Dwyer's the chair about this proposed taxing of winners.
Can I read this?
Sure.
Because I haven't read this yet. I want to read this now. All right. So it says, I view that proposal as both misleading and detrimental to the consumer, O'Dwyer said during the regulators' meeting. I am, of course, pleased that the proposal has been withdrawn, and I remind all our licensees, however, that this commission is committed to protecting the consuming public and that any proposal such as the one advanced by DraftKings will be a subject to the strictest scrutiny and, if appropriate, be rejected. Wow. Whoa. Where's my listing glasses for that? Do you think you should have ran that? Sorry, Will. You should have ran that shit by somebody before you said, well, we're going to do this?
Because remember, New York was one of the four teams, one of the four states that were going to have this happen to them.
Yeah.
So, yes, rejected is a term. Rejected.
Rejected.
See you later. We're not like, I just think it's so wild that he said it open. Like he went back to it. Like he was like, you all pulled it down. That's fine. But let me just remind all of our licensees that if you guys all have some type of ridiculous idea that you want to go ahead and do this, understand what we're going to do in the reaction to it. Rejected. We're not approving this. You're not going to tax people who win.
And you're going to tell them about it on their face, like right on the ticket. But only the winners, not the losers.
Yeah.
Who thought of this cockamamie idea?
It's wild.
Well, I mean, that's one of those ones that telling you, that's like the parent letting you mess up and then telling you, all right, you messed up. If you think about doing that again and you don't tell me first, you understand that the fire that's going to come down. Like that's one of those ones that's saying, we're not only telling you, we're telling all your friends that if you think you're going to try to do this again, no, you're not.
We're going to hammer you.
I gave him credit. That's good. You have to do that. You have, because they'll take, if you give them an inch, they'll take a football field.
It's also the way, I mean, we talked about it at length, but remember what we came up with, how we were describing it was basically that DraftKings was doing this to try to force New York to change their tax code, which nobody there wants the tax code to be fixed. The 51% tax rate, everybody in New York is perfectly comfortable with it. The books don't like it, but everybody else in New York is totally comfortable with it. Like we passed this for a reason.
I just saw a woman dressed like an astronaut at the astronaut. Or whatever at the ball game. She's dressed like she has a helmet on. She has a full astronaut uniform on. I mean,
wow.
That really brings them out.
By the way, UNLV just offered me discounted tickets for being faculty for the game Friday night.
Hello.
How about that? Wow. All right.
Hello.
Man, they want a packed house. They want a full house on Friday night. They're offering faculty and friends of the family to go ahead. Whoo, boy. Here we go.
All right, that's good.
On this. Yeah, 2-on-2 out for the Astros at the moment. If you guys are watching live on YouTube and Twitter, don't move. We have more coming up here. We'll get to favorite thing about today and better to book it in bonus time. If you're watching on Sports Grid TV or you guys are listening on Sirius XM, thank you for being here on the replay. We're back tomorrow for a Whale Watch Wednesday. Our guy Alex Kane will be back. We missed him last week. We should get him back on the program with us coming up tomorrow. For the rest of you.
Too.
Oh, and Evan Abrams too from Action Network. Yes, that would be an awesome
day tomorrow.
Cannot wait to talk to him. For the rest of you guys, don't move. You guys get bonus time. All right. Let's see, 2 on 2 out. We'll watch that obviously, but Scooble's pitch count's getting high and he's getting erratic. So,
He's working. This is
the pitch
fifth
count up.
inning, fourth inning is when it all starts. Oh boy, got to get out of this. Okay.
It all starts to unravel basically on this for Scooble. Better to book.
Oh yeah, that's a K, baby. Out. See you later. Oh, he's fired up too.
Should be.
Pitchers show a little bit of emotion walking off the mound. Tell him, Tariq. Oh, baby. Here we go. Sorry, go ahead.
Aces plus 3.5 today against New York.
Nah, I'd say I booked this one. JY convinced me. Not that you didn't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. I think he's right. He didn't say game 2. He said New York wins the series, and I agree with him. He didn't say New York wins game 2.
Well, in your argument, I think the Aces obviously have to win a road game. Them winning game 2 would behoove them as a chance of having the series to win. I think they win game 3 no matter what happens tonight.
Probably.
Curious as to what the local headline would be. It would probably be flipped.
Aces 3
minus 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, most likely
Something like that.
I mean, Becky, if JY's right in that there's major rumors in the WNBA, NBA basketball circles that Becky Hammons is going to leave after this year, that's a significant story.
Have you heard that? Is that real?
I had not heard that. No, but
okay.
I believe it though. I believe that's possible. I mean, if he was really saying, and he referenced it. If you guys don't know the court case, there's a former player that was accused that's suing the team, claiming discrimination because she got pregnant, and the team and she believes Becky Hammon treated her horribly, and it was workplace harassment type stuff. I don't think it's as big of a story. It's not a big story here locally. It's been a big story outside or in the league. The way he made it sound like it's been horrible. There's been all these problems. I don't know. Asia, 4 Aces players went to France to play in the Olympics. I think that's a bigger factor than any off-court distractions. They played a ton of basketball. Like, they're just tired. Back-to-back championships. I mean, Asia won the MVP award. I just think the team's tired. The team has played a lot of basketball in 3 years.
Right.
And New York is hungry, and they want to get that W. So, but I think Asia's got one tonight. I think Asia's going to be the best player on the court tonight. And then they're going to pump up with that. The Lynx to win the series. Not tonight. I don't care about tonight. Win the series. They're down 0-1 to Connecticut right now.
At home?
At home.
They're at home.
Yep. Lost game 1. Plus 132.
Excuse me. What's the line?
Plus 132.
No, what's the line on the game tonight?
4.5.
Bigger favorite than they were in game 1?
I think less. I think they're a 5 or 6 point favorite in game 1.
Okay.
Every game's been tight. Every game with Connecticut this year has been tight. Right. So I don't want to get involved with that number. That number worries me. Like, I'm like, man, 4.5 is tough for me to lay. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to lay the price on that. But I think the Lynx are going to play the Liberty in the final, so I'll take the plus because I think they can win tonight straight up, and then this plus price is gone.
It's not going to get adjusted that much though, because they have to go on the road. So this is not This is assuming a split price right now. That's why it's plus 132.
Okay.
They would have to win game 3. Now, are they going to be favored on the road in game 3? The Lynx? No.
Maybe. I mean, they're a better
small
team.
Right. Okay.
They're 16-4 at home.
The Sun are?
No, the Lynx are.
Oh.
And they lost game 1.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah, so they're going to win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is does the series go 5?
No.
Can they win 3 in a row?
They can win 3 in a row.
Okay. All right, then that's a good bet. I'd say bet it.
And then finally, Padres to win the pennant at plus 500.
Oh.
I don't need them to win the pennant. Just get past the Dodgers. This is a bet for the Padres to beat the Dodgers.
Padres got to beat the Braves first.
They're going to beat the Braves. It's not even a question in my mind.
Oh, boy.
It's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the worry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's no Chris Sale. They can't score. This is the same with the Royals. Teams don't have the ability to manufacture runs. They either home run or bust. You're asking the pitching staff, the best pitching staff in the National League, or the Phillies, one of the two, to be completely horrendous against the Braves. I just don't see it. The Braves were not a good team on the road. They're not a good offensive team, and they don't have their best pitcher in Chris Sale. Like, it's just they're going into this with one hand tied behind their back. So I'm worried about the Padres beating the Braves in 3. I am worried about them beating the Dodgers in a 3-game series, but if you look at who's going to be lined up to pitch for the Padres versus who's going to pitch for the Dodgers, this is going to have to be an over series for the Dodgers to advance.
Ideal situation is the Padres win this thing in 2.
Okay.
They get Musgrove, and they get, I don't know who the game 2 starter is going to be. Is it going to be Darvish or is it going to be Cease?
Either or. I'm good. We're good with either one.
Either one is good.
Yeah, I'm good with all 4 of their starters. I mean, give me any of the 4 starting pitching options for the Padres is better than whoever the Braves are going to throw. And then 4 of the
it's King tonight.
Today. Yep. Which is, look at his numbers in the last month. King's been unhittable.
He's been great.
So you have him going tonight. So you have a win there, most likely for the Padres. They win it in 2. Then they move on to take on a Dodger team, which could arguably, I mean, this is the NLCS. I mean, the Phillies obviously have a say in it, but the 3 best teams are Padres, Dodgers, Phillies.
Framber's being removed from the game.
Injury?
No, top of the 5th. They went to get him out of the game. Runner on base for the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get a right-hander.
Yeah.
Wow. So Musgrove 2, Cease 3 confirmed. Thank you, Rosie. That's why this is that. I love you guys. This chat is awesome. You guys do a great job keeping us informed. If they win in 2, Cease is the game 1 starter. That's going to be really good for the Padres. Start him on the road, and then you have to run it back with, I guess, King, and then Musgrove and Darvish. Like, that's going to be, wow. Talk about must-see baseball. Oh, the West Coast stuff is going to be so good. This is a good bet. I mean, would have been a little bigger price a while ago, but so what? Now you're live. I wanted the path.
I wanted the draw. Yeah, I wanted the path.
Right.
And I think there's an opportunity for the Padres, if they disperse of the Braves quickly, just make the NLCS, and I can bet the other side.
Without a doubt.
That's the play for me. Because they're not going to be 5-1 dogs against the Phillies, and they could be a favorite if they face the Mets or they face somebody unexpected to get to the other off the other side. That we
will be a favorite if they play the Mets or they play the Brewers. Well, they won't have home field with the Brewers. It'll be close. It'll be pick 'em. Yeah, you'll be fine.
So I can bet the other side, get a plus price on their side, and then we're good to go. So that's the play. That's the idea for me with this, is just sort of take a position and see what we can do, how we can work off of it with the Padres. Dodgers can beat them. There's no debate. Dodgers can go ahead and win the series, but we'll see how it winds up going. Favorite thing about today is what?
On this day, 11 years ago,
okay,
the Pirates hosted the Cincinnati Reds in a 1-game playoff, and when the thing was 1 game in advance. And I remember watching a game, and there was a lot going on with Jess's dad, my dad. There was so many things. And that summer, the Pirates got good again. And we went and we watched them play in San Diego, which we did every year. And the baseball brought it all back. Just like the kids got caught up in it. You know, they used to make the Z for Zorro when they got a base hit, and they used to hold it up on second base and all this stuff. I bought T-shirts. I was all in. And it was the Johnny Cueto game. Johnny Cueto was on the mound.
Wow.
PNC Park was chanting, Cueto, 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 and he drops the ball on the mound. And he picked it up, and the next pitch he threw in a 0-0 game was to Russell Martin, and Russell Martin hit a ball over the fence. And it was probably the seminal moment of PNC Park history. It was crazy rocking. Like, people that were there talk about it being the best sports moment that they ever had. And it was just one of those things. The Pirates went on to win and then lose in the series. to St. Louis. But that's the last playoff game they won. It popped up on my timeline today. I tweeted it. Ernie Johnson was the call on TBS or TNT. It's baseball. It just, my favorite thing about today was remembering how I felt that day. We got to talk to Claire Check today. Hopefully, JC from KC, you'll be able to find us tomorrow, fit in about 5 minutes of your time. I want you on the show because you wear the hats and you look good, and the Royals stay might be short. So we'll have you on. But my favorite thing about today is that it's October 1st and we got playoff baseball, bro.
Just so you, October 1st, 1932.
Oh,
that is the Babe Ruth call his shot anniversary.
Wow.
Did not know. Did you know that he did not actually call his shot?
Oh boy, here we go.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Irizarry told me this story on one of the
1932 World Series at Wrigley Field. It was a 2-2 count against Charlie Root.
Yeah, what was he doing? Just pointing?
Pointing at the Cubs. Yeah. Supposedly, he was jawing with the Cub players. And it looks like he's pointing out to the bleachers, but he's not. He's actually pointing directly at the Cub players.
And told him, I'm going to hit this ball over the fence. And hopefully that's what he said.
No, supposedly he was pointing and just like saying something to them. Like he wasn't actually doing it. Initially, Ruth said he was pointing to the Cubs bench to let them know that he had one more strike.
Oh.
Which is also why which is also what the manager for the Cubs claims happened. But once the story got some legs, the media savvy slugger, Babe Ruth, was happy to run with the story. And it became a story that people just wanted to believe.
Yeah.
That Babe Ruth pointed out to left field and hit the ball where he pointed to.
I mean, like there's pictures. People did paintings and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at a painting right now of it.
You know,
a painting of him pointing out to center field. Yep.
Yeah.
Robert Tom's painting of Babe Ruth, called shot, part of the Hall of Fame's collection of artwork you can see, where he's pointing out to left field as a left-handed batter, pointing out to left field. But he wasn't actually pointing out to left field. He was pointing at the Cubs. It's like, I have one more strike. I got one more strike. I got one strike left. And then he goes and hits a home run to left field.
The trash talk is the best. Like that, just period. And everything gets heightened, and you know, people just the text, the reminders, people talking about the exactas. I love this part of the year. It is so much fun. The other thing I love too, I forgot to mention, a couple guys got some hats this week.
Cool.
They're already there. They've been received.
Good.
WV Punch Drunk One, just take a picture of one or two of those, and we got a couple guys in Jersey that got a couple. So we're getting them out, boys. They're getting out all over. The guy with the RV, I got to get his information. There's a guy that, have you heard about? P-Rod has. I don't know. We've told the audience, but this guy wants to drive around in his RV with a BVB hat and take a picture next to all the Welcome to signs.
9 states in like 8 days or something he wants to go and do.
Welcome to South Dakota with the BBB hat. Welcome to North Dakota with the BBB hat, all that stuff. So thought it was a good idea.
Yeah. So it's October 1st, like you mentioned. So welcome to Halloween. So my daughter's all excited about the Halloween. Now we can decorate the house. So the house can get decorated now. So she's all excited about being able to do that. But
dressing up. She
asked me that question yesterday, and I said, I don't know. It's the 30th of September. We'll talk later about what I'm wearing for Halloween. I don't know. It's not important to me. I don't care about this holiday. You like it, so I do it for you. It's my least favorite holiday. She loves it. I can't stand it. But it's not my least favorite because I think Valentine's is my least favorite. But it's in the Valentine's Day category.
Oh God.
But hockey is coming. We are very, very close. Look, the NBA is awesome. I love the NBA, but the problem with the NBA is that we have a pretty good idea of the top 4 teams in each conference, and we know they're going to be in the playoffs, and that's going to be that's next summer. Like basketball just seems like so far away. So when it starts, I never get the same. I don't know. Like the excitement level is different. Like the start of NBA, I want to watch the banner drop for the Celtics and whatnot. That's going to be fun. But everyday hockey, like the hockey season starting, is always really fun.
Yep,
it's super exciting. we're close to getting the puck being dropped. The Bruins are in a whole fucking big mess with their goaltender right now and what's going on. They already named the backup as the starting for game one. I mean, like Cam Neely's playing hardball here with Swayman. It's ugly in Boston for the Bruins right now with their goaltender situation. But
Cam doesn't sound like a player. He sounds like a suit.
He don't give a fuck right now. He's blasting Swayman.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I don't like the way any of that sounds.
No, it's not good. And granted, Swayman had his own issues with this. It's, if you listen to the Boston media, I'm not involved obviously with it, but it's more the agent for Swayman that's the problem.
Oh,
like the agent's been doing some dirty shit. So the Bruins, yeah, this is the feeling that the Bruins did him dirty, but it's the Bruins angle is it wasn't them, it was the agent that said some things and did some things that were not on the up and up. So, but it's a bad start to the hockey season for the Bruins. There's no debating it. Maybe the best goaltender in the game, and you're having a really big problem. So it's ugly. So it sucks. But I'm just glad that it's back. We're close to opening night. We can get going here with some hockey bets and to watch it. And I just can't wait to get Chris Otto's spreadsheet going again and watching first periods and watching overs and unders. I got to
call Otto today about that exact thing.
Yeah,
I got to talk to Otto about that. You're dressing up for Halloween.
I always do. I'm always made to, but I don't go out. Like I like to be at the house. I like to give out candy.
That's fine.
So my daughter goes out. She goes out and like his name's not Igor. Well, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I'll take Swayman. I'll take Swayman. You can have Igor. I'll take Swayman.
I got asked about the costume yesterday too. It's funny. We're living the same life in different houses, but I said whatever you want us to be, we'll be. There's not. You only got a couple more years where they even ask you to dress up. So if she asks you to dress up, let her pick the costume, dress up, take pictures.
I told her I wanted to be Liam Gallagher from Oasis. She was not interested in that.
Not impressed. Like, stop. Let her pick. You don't get to pick.
Why not?
It's the kids' holiday. Let them have fun with it.
It is. Which games, Otto? Most intense baseball game I've ever watched? Which one? Yesterday?
No, 2013.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I don't remember it.
Stay ready, Otto. I'm calling you after the show.
Sounds good. Guys, tomorrow, Whale Watch Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing Alex Kane coming on the program. Thank you to Jim Costa from the Ticket in Detroit coming in and helping us recap the Lions win and preview the games today. Still 3-0 Tigers here in the we'll see what the bullpen looks like coming up here. Maybe a 1-0 lead for the Tigers in this series. So we'll recap it tomorrow. 3 games to come all tonight. Should be a lot of fun tomorrow with Alex Kane on a Whale Watch Wednesday. I'm sure the Whale Watch firing will be happening in the morning tomorrow for some baseball games.
Baby.
Looking forward to seeing what happens with that. He is Dave. I am Matt. We're back tomorrow for a Whale Watch Wednesday Sport Trade with BVB.